me show you the book of Genesis, the 17th chapter. Because Abraham knew that Yah is not like that. Abraham knew the law. And knowing the law, he knew it was far from Yahweh to ever take a righteous man's life for the sins of the wicked. He knew that would be far from Yah. And if you turn to the book of Genesis 18, we're going to start reading at the 23rd verse.
And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
He asked Yahweh, would he also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Not even for the wicked, but just with the wicked. Would he allow the righteous to die with the wicked? And here's what Yah said.
Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city.
Peradventure, Yahweh, there's 50 righteous men in the city of Solomon and Gomorrah, where they're committing homosexuality, and lesbians are all in the city, like it is in Cincinnati and other cities. And what are you going to do with these righteous?
Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
That's what you call making intercession for the transgressors. Notice what he said. Read that again.
Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city.
Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are within? That be far from thee to do after this manner. He said that's not even a consideration. That's nothing that you're capable of doing, and that's very far from thee to do after that manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, that the wicked shall be, that the righteous shall be as the wicked. And that's the story they telling about Christ, that Christ, who was a perfect sacrifice, came to have all the sins of the wicked laid upon him, and then he was going to give himself for a sacrifice and die from all their sins. Now, if he was going to die for all that sins, that meant all that sins was laid upon him. The men that raped the little bitty babies, the men that had sex with the little daughters, the men that were murdering their mothers, the men that were stealing from Yah, like the preachers are doing today. He said all the sins are on this person. And here Abraham said, this is far from thee. And then he go on and said,
Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
and Yahweh said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. This is what you call making intercession. And this is what the righteous were doing in Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. They were making intercession for the transgressors. Keep reading. And let's get on down to the 32nd verse.
And he said, Oh, let not Yahweh be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
In other words, Yah loved the righteous so much. He loves the innocent so much that he would rather let Sodom and Gomorrah stand with all the filthiness and all the abominations that they're committing. He said, I would rather let it stand than to destroy the righteous with the wicked. So what are the righteous doing? The righteous that were in Sodom, they were making intercession for the transgressors. They were making the atonement. They were the ones. And when I say they, when Yahweh speaks of his servant, He's not speaking of an individual. He's talking about a nation of people. Not the whole nation of Israel, but part of the nation of Israel that Yahweh calls his elect. He called them his elect, his righteous servant. And his righteous servant will be identified in the book of Isaiah, the 49th chapter. And as you will see, even though it appears to be talking about an individual, he's talking about a group of individuals. For in the book of Isaiah, the 49th chapter, it says,
Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken ye people from far. Yahweh have called me from the womb.
Yahweh has called me from the womb. I was born for this purpose. Even though I didn't know my responsibilities, I didn't know who Yah was, I was born for this hour. Yahweh called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother had he made mention of my name. And he has made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand has he hid me and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver has he hid me and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Here Yahweh, brothers and sisters, said Israel is his servant, and through Israel will he be glorified. For certainly Israel is not glorified through Christianity. Christianity only glorifies Christ. Certainly there's no other religion on the face of this earth that glorifies Yahweh but Israel. Certainly he's not talking about Judaism, because Judaism does not glorify Yahweh. Judaism glorified the Talmud, another book that is totally contrary to the Torah, contrary to the words of the Most High. And if Judaism was teaching the truth, they would be teaching the world that we, the black man in Cincinnati and throughout the United States, are indeed part of the lost tribes of Israel. So the only ones that's glorifying Yahweh is his servant Israel. And he said,